Okay, thank you very much, Lipsigio Sehgay. Today we have three newspapers. That is the Fourier newspaper, Standard newspaper, together with the Voice newspaper. They've all come, with some interesting headlines. Looking at the Standard newspaper, on their front page, we have audit report says government spent millions of dollars on COVID food aid without following due process. We also had another headlines, new U.S. ambassador arrived, KMC inaugurates a new office complex, launch $180 million project also. Catholic group urges Senegal to end anti-rebel operations, while IPC criticizes use of state resources, for campaign. On the back page of the Standard newspaper, we've seen Scorpion Sol Murray call stadium ban a disgrace, and we also seen Regional Football Association renew loyalty to Lamin Kaba Bajo. Looking at the Fourier newspaper, on their main headlines reads 19 women to contest April parliamentary elections. We also seen GPU president urges journalists to research, provide reliable content. National auditors says medical item worth over $24 million is procured without approval. Gambia registered 10 new COVID-19 cases. We've also seen IEC reject 5 aspiring candidates, and President Barrow pledges $5 million support for internally displaced person in Fonyi. And looking at the question of the day for Fourier is, what is the mandate of the IEC on nomination? And then going over to the Voice newspaper, we've seen on their main headlines, no confrontations between Gambia and Senegalese forces, according to an army spokesman. And then we also seen Barrow orders robust border patrol amid fresh clashes in customers. Investing heavily in horticulture will help address food insecurity, says Mai Ahmed Fati. Catholic groups urges Senegal to end an anti-rebel operation. Court gives Govt 2 years probation, and domestic workers among workers whose rights are being neglected. Also looking at the back page of the Voice newspaper, we've seen Bakary Papagasama, choosing to officiate Algeria versus Cameroon game. Very interesting stories indeed. But first, we start with the Standard newspaper. On the Standard newspaper, we've seen audit report says that government spent millions, of dollars on COVID food aid, without following due process, and they've made a series of revelation according to the National Audit Office, and some of the revelation include, that is contracts awarded, before GPPA approvals. We've also seen unregistered GPPA suppliers, award of contract to ineligible suppliers, unpresented contract documents. We also seen unfair treatment of lower bidders, those who bid lowly. We also see cost of transportation wrongfully charged. We also seen unsettled contract obligations. So these are some of the things that the National Audit Office have raised, according to their findings, and I think this call for concern, and I think they will put a mechanism, to make sure that such is averted, because we all know during the COVID-19, especially when it was reported that we received our first COVID cases, everything was done in a haste. Government was trying to mobilize resources, in order to reach out to people, so that at least they would try to do everything possible to make sure that they minimize the harm, the impact, the negative impact that COVID-19 is going to make Gambians face. And I think maybe because of that, so many things happens. So many things that should not happen has happened, and the National Audit Office have started revealing all these things. And I think a mechanism or recommendations are going to be put in place, so that this thing will not happen again.
Anyway, they have to do something.
Exactly.
Because if a thing like this happens again, then it will be a disaster.
Yeah, it is going to be a disaster.
Imagine a situation where you spend millions of dollars, and then